on hold with the doctor's office, and they started playing The Exorcist. It's still ringing in my head, and once again, it's like as if acid reflux has encompassed my entire being, and I'm spitting up pea soup. I would imagine Jim Harbaugh is this whole Jim Harbaugh suspension and how bizarre the entire story is. It does seem odd. Now, the NCAA, I would imagine, is less influential than the World Boxing Council
This is the
in
big
terms of credibility and its ability to go ahead and administrate what was going on in college football. This is an interesting story on so many different levels. As you look at Jim Harbaugh being suspended supposedly for the final 3 games. Now, the fascinating part to me, Lubie, is that you have Jim Harbaugh, a Michigan coach, beloved in the state of Michigan. At different times that they've had their differences with him. Well, when they're losing.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
He wasn't so fucking popular. But now he's a god. Everybody's wearing khaki pants. Incredible.
Doctors are so bad.
But the issue is Michigan decoding their signals. This is Carlos Beltran banging on a garbage can and telling Jose Altuve, yeah, go ahead and steal. He's coming home. They knew everything.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Very pleasant. Good morning, everybody. Great to be with you on this getaway day, the final day before the holiday season gets into full swing and legitimizes itself with Thanksgiving Day. And hoping you're not on the road right now trying to fight your way through traffic or battling your way through an airport, trying to get to a destination where you can celebrate with your family and friends. I'm Jeff DeForest along with one Mike Lubie. Lubitz, you look like you're in pretty good spirits today, Mike Lubie. Lubitz, how are you, my friend?
It's Thanksgiving, man. I'm ready. I was ready since yesterday. So the Kaizen feast yesterday sort of set me. I think I had like 8 sake shots.
You were bombed. It was great. On a show, that's Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We were at a restaurant called Kaizen, which is only open for lunch on the weekends, which is kind of interesting. And yet, and it's a great place. And the chef there, Kui, the owner, what a dedicated guy. It really shows you what it's all about to try to make it to the top. Because I was amazed when he said that he goes and takes like jobs.
Yes.
Washing dishes in other sushi restaurants just so that he can learn from the best. And this guy already is deemed to be one of the best, if not the best, in the city. I have certainly Broward County. You would have to think that Kaizen is the top sushi place. I'm no sushi connoisseur, but just looking at the artistry alone and the presentation, you would have to think, wow, that this guy's really on top of his game. And then anybody who has a $4,200 knife that isn't named Dundee, as in not Angelo, but Crocodile.
Or Van Damme.
Wow. Talk about a scientific approach to things. That was great. Now, Mayo ate enough raw fish to just go jump off the Dania Pier there. And if he had got into the ocean, they would have mistaken him for a blowfish after yesterday's lunch. Hey, look at that. He's all puffed up. But no, it was great. And they had some other dishes there that they put out, which also were very filling. They had a fried rice dish that was terrific. What was that noodle thing?
Udon. They call it udon. It's
udon?
Like the Japanese version.
I put an udon on you. That sounds like a blues song. Yeah. Udon. No, that was delicious. And the other one, the chicken thing, was also good.
Chicken teriyaki.
Very good. So we had a really nice time there. Yeah, I didn't eat anything after that. That was it for me for the day. I did suck down a beer and a half after my walk of life, but it was a very slow pace on the walk of life because I was stuffed like I had never been before. Right? And that whole science of the rice was fascinating also. Now, would that be a viable alternative? He's closed on Thanksgiving, Kaizen. Do people go out? What are the alternatives to the traditional Thanksgiving dinner?
Tropical Acres they're packed. So I don't know by now. That's the thing.
But are they not serving like a Thanksgiving dinner or are they just doing a regular menu?
But yeah. Well, they do, but they have prime rib. They have the filet mignon. They have some of the other, what are they, scallops? I know they have.
Is prime rib an alternative? I've never seen that so much featured as an alternative. I mean, you got turkey, you got ham.
Yeah, that's
what would the alternative be to the Thanksgiving traditions? Prime rib? I guess it could be, right?
Well, I was going to say, like, you don't normally have prime rib. So, like, if you don't want Thanksgiving, because not everyone is you and me. Like, it's my favorite meal, like yours.
I love it, yeah.
I
can eat Thanksgiving dinner every day of my life.
I literally do, because most people aren't leftover people, as you know, I'm
Yeah.
Mr. Leftover.
You are
So
the king of leftovers.
I
You even exceed me because I almost prefer leftovers to dining while I'm at the table.
I'm the same way. So I can eat Thanksgiving. I don't know for a month, but I'll eat it for like the next week. Like I'll eat it
Yeah.
every day. I'll have something Thanksgiving for like a week, 100%.
And that's the killer too. I mean, people talk about, well, geez, you know what, gained 10 pounds, but yeah, we had Thanksgiving. But it's the week after where you're
Yes.
continuing to drain your freezer of the Thanksgiving leftovers. In fact, I don't even bother stashing them in the freezer. I just put them right in the fridge because I know I'm going for it. Stuffing is a killer.
Yes.
What else? Cranberry sauce. Is that something that's going to put a bunch of pounds on you? The big joke that's going around now on social media. Well, I don't get involved in many avenues of social media, except for Facebook. And I've seen this at least a half a dozen times. And that is, don't forget to set your scale back 10 pounds. I do the old Don King thing. I move the scale around until I find a spot where I end up 5 pounds lighter. I find certain levels of carpeting really help if you're weighing yourself. It's funny too. I mean, and then you get on the public scale, which I never do anymore.
No.
Public scales don't have to be calibrated to be like 5-10 pounds below because they don't want you to think, oh my God, how fucking fat am I? And then go into the store and you bypass all the stuff that you would normally buy. Yeah. I mean, you see the pumpkin pies there on sale. But would you consider doing that? Set the scale back 10 pounds on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, and then
You shouldn't even have a scale around, no?
Shirley has 4. I haven't weighed myself in a long time.
You don't need to, though. You're looking pretty good, Lubie. I have to say, there's a time there you were putting on a couple.
Mm.
When was that? That was about 5-6 years ago, I believe. Maybe it was between marriages.
It was
Normally, that's a time people get in shape.
I was good before the marriage. It was around the wedding. And I'm not a big eat. It's not like I eat a lot. It's not. I guess I'll get my body.
No, you eat a lot. What are you talking about?
I eat often. I don't really. Yesterday was the first time I sat down and ate a lot. Like I get full really easily.
You annihilated that stuff yesterday, and then took the rest home, which was cool.
That was fantastic. I mean, it was. Oh, and I have a knish for you. I meant to bring you the knish yesterday, and I totally.
Oh no, you didn't have to do that. I was only.
No, but it was for you. I literally ordered it for you. I knew I was seeing you yesterday, and I freaking forgot.
No, you have that one. Are you a Knish fan? I'm a big Knish fan.
Bears, grandpas, yeah.
Well, there are other places where you can get good Knishes around.
The frozen ones are solid. I can't lie. These you brought up, I've tried those. What is it? I don't know, Gabilla or whatever.
Gabillas, I think they're called.
Pretty solid.
You don't want to get the name pronunciation wrong because Mayo will hammer you on Let's Eat South Florida.
I think it's Gabillas. I don't.
That was great. So you spent a half hour talking about how he despises the phrase "never disappoints," which it is implied there. If you say, "Hey, the Defo Show never disappoints,"
yes,
it's implied that it's your opinion.
It's from me. Duh.
Right?
Mayo's weird. Of course,
it's so strange, man.
Of course, it's from me. Like I don't know. What if you've never watched it? Like, how do you know? How do I know that you never disappoints you? I expect it to disappoint some people.
Disappoints me almost every day. I'm like, what the fuck? Did I lose it? And when did I lose my ability to do this? When my memory started to be seriously challenged. Where you can't think of the simplest things. Who's the guy? Orlovsky. That's the name I couldn't come up with this morning. Dan Orlovsky. Because I'm looking at this guy Boyle that's going to play against the Dolphins. Yeah. Have you seen this kid's resume?
I'd never heard of him.
Okay. We're talking about Tim Boyle, who is now the starting quarterback for the New York Jets. On Friday, a key ball game for the Miami Dolphins. Yes. Now 7-3, tied with how many teams for the best record in the AFC? Is it just KC? Somebody else has to be 7-3.
I know the Ravens. Because I think the Ravens are 8.
Oh, the Ravens, yes, Ravens.
They're 8-3. I guess they haven't had their bye.
Oh, okay, all right. So they're a half game back of the best record in the league. And are the Ravens off this week? I haven't looked at all of the games yet because I could find that out for you real quickly here, Lubie. As I've mostly been immersed in information about Tim Boyle.
They played the Chargers this week.
Okay. So the Dolphins have a chance here to go to 8-3. They really need to because the last 3 or 4 games of the season are much more pressing and much more demanding, at least on paper, than the next couple would be.
Oh, the Jags are also sorry. The Jags are also 7-3. So
7-3. Okay. 7-3, yeah. So they're in the mix there, and how you were talking about this yesterday on the show. How great would it be if the Dolphins ended up with a bye in the first round of the playoffs? we wouldn't have to, go through all of the agony and the anxiety that goes along with, hey, are they ever going to be able to win a playoff game? The last time they did it was with Chad Pennington. Was that their last playoff win? No, it was even before that.
It was Fiedler, the Fiedler Lamar Smith year. Was the last time they did
Oh, my God. What was that, like 2001?
It's 2002. Mayo always brings it up. Mayo's very proud to bring it up to mock the Dolphins. I think it was 2002. I think that's their last. Remember,
2002 was their last playoff win?
Yeah, the last times they played the Ravens and got annihilated. Pennington, they lost by like 40 to the Ravens.
I haven't penciled in with a win. Like I said, my memory is completely shot. So I'm looking at the resume of this guy. This is your starter for the New York Jets. And then it ties in with an article that Mike Vaccaro penned today in the New York Post. All of this coming out of the Post, by the way, where they analyze everything in great detail. All right, so Tim Boyle, the headline is Jets benching Wilson. Ice cold Wilson benched in favor of Boyle. Boyle is 29 years old. He attended UConn and Eastern Kentucky as a collegiate. He was undrafted in 2017. In 3 seasons at the University of Connecticut, he appeared in 19 games. Now, Connecticut was awful then. They now have what? Is Jim Mora Jr. still coaching UConn? Is he still there?
He just he went on a rant the other day. He went on a rant, and literally was a big deal because he was bitching about, well, if you people want, they're like 2-9 or something. If you people want us to win, you need to give us NIL money. If you don't
pony up some cash.
Yes, if you don't give us NIL money, we're not going to win. It's like, okay.
Where was all this booster money going before? Just into illegal recruiting?
I guess.
It has to be highly more significant, the amount of cash you have to come up with to actually have kids playing for like $4 or $5 million a season. Where, I mean, when would you ever see players abdicate the possibility of going to the pros when they, are now in their 5th year of college? Never happened in the past. Now it's more lucrative to just, Shedeur Sanders, how much money is this guy making? He drives a Rolls Royce. A Rolls Royce around campus. I remember it. I'll never forget this because it wasn't discussed as much. It was more on the hush-hush, the idea. Everybody knew that certain players were getting paid and money was being siphoned to certain players to attend schools. And I'll never forget seeing this guy, and I've mentioned him a few times, Dennis Duval was a top player on Long Island. He ended up going to Syracuse. He had a nice career at Syracuse. I believe he might have played briefly for the Pistons in the pros. He wasn't really that great as a pro. He ended up becoming a cop. I think he was the chief of police in Syracuse after his career was over. And it ended pretty quickly in the NBA. But this guy could do everything. He was a veritable Earl of Pearl Monroe. I mean, he had every move in the books. I remember watching him play when he was a kid on Long Island in high school. And you thought, wow. And he was one of those guys. He had a bigger reputation as a player coming out of high school than Dr. J did.
Oh, wow.
Dr. J wasn't really Dr. J then, as I've mentioned many times. Dr. J was, you could tell he was going to be a good ball player, but you could have never imagined that he was going to be the second coming of Connie Hawkins and Elgin Baylor rolled into one. Mm-hmm. So Duval, I was at the Cuse at the time. Duval comes in as a freshman, and he was driving like a Ferrari, a red Ferrari. He had a better car. You know who went to the Cuse? I think he was in the same class I was. I remember Harry Mangorian owned the Boston Celtics. Harry Mangorian.
Yes.
So his son, Harry Mangorian Jr., Mangorian wasn't in school when I was. He's been dead for like 100 years. But
his son, though.
His son, though, a very handsome guy. I mean, he had every chick in it was unbelievable, the chick magnet this guy was. And, there was also the added attraction that he had like an endless supply of capital. And he was driving some hot car, and Duval's car made his look like a Pinto. And I want to say, I don't know that Dennis Duval grew up in poverty, but, I don't think he was actually, it wasn't like he was from Woodmere or something or Great Neck. I mean, this guy was from a part of Long Island that, it wasn't necessarily reflective of the idea that everybody in the town is filthy fucking rich. And I thought, wow, how did this guy get the assets to acquire a vehicle like that when
I wonder.
Yeah, I mean, I was happy to inherit my mother's like old Ford Fairlane, I think, at the time, and be able to drive that in the summertime. So, this has been going on forever, but nothing to the extent that we're seeing now, where collegians are opting to stay in school. Isn't Sanders, is he eligible to become a pro?
I mean, this quarterback class is loaded, and he sucked the second half of the year. So, I mean, there's a lot more than just he can make good NIL, but he can. I mean, he can make more NIL than he will in the pros. I don't think he's going to be a pro. I think he's average. So it's smart for him to just stay there, and they'll keep throwing money. He's doing national commercials. He and his brother, who's average, are doing national commercials. Like he's not.
I didn't realize this either. I was just reading an article about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Gee, I wonder who's writing about that.
Yeah.
They're in every magazine and on every cover. It's incredible. And I didn't realize that Kelce, although it makes sense, he makes $14 million a year in salary from the Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce, and easily exceeds that in endorsement money.
Yeah, he'd be doing. You joke about it, doing almost everything. He's in like.
There's nothing he's not selling. When he's washed up, does he replace Joe Willie on that Medicare supplement ad? Which is a total ripoff, from my understanding, where you end up on some HMO that you can't even go to a doctor in Indonesia, much less somebody that's down the block from your house. But getting back to this guy, this is what's starting against the Miami Dolphins. Tom Brady was talking. Was he way off base? Because people resent Brady for making statements like this because it's like, okay, Tom, so you were so great. Now there's nobody in the league, and the league sucks because you're not in it anymore. I don't know that he was intending to communicate that kind of a thought. But if you look at Boyle starting for the Jets, all right, so 3 seasons at UConn, he was in 19 games. He threw 1 touchdown pass, Lubie, and 13 interceptions.
He wasn't even good in college.
No, I mean, good in college. It's amazing he actually stayed in college as a quarterback. I mean, maybe he has academic skills. 1 touchdown, 13 picks at UConn, completing 48.4% of his 275 attempts. This is in an era where the dink and dunk is going to inflate your completion percentage to now a lousy percentage is something around 65%.
Yeah, low 60s is like the lowest. Low 60s.
People rip my man Joe Willie and say, well, he only completed 51% of his passes for his career. But he was throwing bombs into the wind at Shea. Can you imagine? I mean, versus, here you go. Boozer, Snell, they caught their share of passes, but Joe Willie essentially was chucking a rock.
Well, and the defensive backs were allowed to do whatever they wanted. It was very different.
Yes. You think George Atkinson was, not strangling guys? Fred the Hammer Williamson?
I mean, it was.
But would hit you with a club on your way out on a pass pattern.
I mean, and the defensive lineman could kill quarter. I mean, it was very different. Like, I hate when they do that. I hate comparing the eras. But yes,
here's the rest of the resume, Louie. In 11 games at Eastern Kentucky, threw 13 interceptions and 12 TDs.
Oh, Jesus.
Completing 61.4% of his passes for an average of 194 yards per game. Rather tepid total there.
Oh, my God.
He appeared in 11 games with the Packers in 2019 and 20 as Aaron Rodgers' backup with 4 total passing attempts. A little bit modest. Made only 3 starts of his NFL career with the Lions. His only 3 starts of his NFL career came with the Lions in 2021, where he went 0-3. He threw 3 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, completed 65% of his passes for 175 yards per game. This, by NFL standards, is beyond sub-pedestrian. He appeared in 1 game for the Bears last year, completed. So he completed as many passes to the other team as he did to his own out of 8 throws. And he's thrown 3 TDs and 9 interceptions in 120 career NFL passes. This is what the Dolphins are facing. This is why this weekend begins with what looks to be the most blatant chalk city choices that we have ever seen. As virtually everybody, is it going to be milk and magnesia time on Thanksgiving Day?
Feels like it.
Just about everybody is all over the 3 favorites here. And how could 10 points be enough to accord the New York Jets in their game? I understand everybody's talking about how great the Jets defense is, which wasn't so great against the Buffalo Bills because they were on the field the entire time.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just run them around. Eventually they'll get tired. I mean, I don't give a shit how good a defense is.
They're wearing the fuck out. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just get after this schmank, keep them on the field the whole game, and you could be the 85 Bears. I mean, look, the Marino team had a lot of fun that game. You know, like you can beat any defense if you just keep them on the damn field.
The Cowboys are giving 11 to the Commanders, who just lost to the Giants for the 2nd time this year. The Giants have 3 wins. 2 of them are against the Commanders. Now, the Commanders have been competitive, but they also traded 2 of their key guys defensively, so you would have to think that they've been compromised badly. The Cowboys at home are winning by like an average of 27 points. I think they're 4-0 at home with an average margin of victory of 27 points. Is 11 enough to take the Commanders, Lubie?
No. I wouldn't
No.
I would just not touch that game. I mean,
The Lions are giving only 7.5 to the Packers.
they're horrible.
The Packers stink.
No, they're horrible.
They somehow hang in games. Yeah, go ahead.
I can see that more than I can see.
You can see the Packers covering 7.5.
No, Lions. No. I agree with your chalk fest. I think the Lions. I could agree with the Lions around 8. The Dallas had 11. I don't like it. They'll probably do it. I mean, they've been pounding the NFC East opponents, and they hung with the Eagles. But I don't know. I don't like that. The night game is the one that's interesting, but I don't know what you
49ers and Seattle.
Is Geno Smith? You got me confused about Geno Smith.
I believe Geno Smith is fine because I want to say that he came back in that game, and he was on the field for the final drive.
I haven't heard anything about him at all, so I presume he's fine. I mean,
I'm going to say he's okay. I mean, I could check the injury report here, but it would involve thumbing through a lot of pages of this newspaper.
Seattle too. I think that's
at Seattle. Yes, the 12th man going to be big. The 49ers. Very impressive last week, of course, but not so impressive last week against Tampa Bay. They won by 13, which is not enough to cover the point spread. They're getting socked with some pretty overwhelming point spreads, the 49ers, as you might imagine, because everybody considers them, in spite of their 3-loss streak that they had there a couple of weeks ago, to be the best team right there, knocking on the door at Philadelphia as the best of the NFC. Yep. And maybe that's deserved, but 6.5, less than a touchdown. Is that enough for the Seahawks? Are the Seahawks live to beat or be right there against the 49ers in that game?
See, what's interesting is the hook looms large because here mine's saying 7.
Okay.
A full 7, I can see doing it because at least a touchdown, you get a push.
Yes.
Yeah.
Buy the hook, as they say. Buy the hook.
I'd want.
Never mind buy the book. For degenerates, buy the hook. Speaking of degenerates, should we bring them on here for a quick hello, and then we'll take our break and come back with Old School with Tony Segreto?
Let's do it.
Oh, look at this man. He gets better looking every day. How is that possible, Tony? It'd be good. You might want to switch your mic on. You look great.
I don't hear you. Yeah, I don't hear you.
There you go. Switch that thing on. Hit a button. I love the panicked look on people when you're telling me they got to do something with their computer. What do I do?
Make sure your settings here on Reshow.
Settings? Where are you, man? This is a new background. This looks like Davie, Florida, possibly. Is that? No, he couldn't be back. All right. Well, we'll have Tony figure that out, maybe. So far, no sound from Tony Segreto. That was a successful intro. Lubie, that almost was like our Tony Bruno radio show, which we're going to resume today.
I'm getting used to that now. Things not working at all.
I ran this wire in my house. Now, we didn't do the Tony Bruno show yesterday because we just couldn't deal with it anymore. The delays and the echoes and all of the different foul-ups that we were experiencing. And we thought, geez, we're really looking like shit here. I don't want to hack my way through another show until we correct the problem. And Miss Robin, of course, the partner of one great Tony Bruno, is insisting that this will work if we plug directly in with an ether cable. It'll take the delay out of the situation, which if we even overcome that today, I will be very, very happy with the Tony Bruno radio show. That's coming up at 10 o'clock, and we're going to try it again. So I bought the cable a couple of days ago. The reason we were off yesterday is I didn't realize that there are no inputs on my computer to fit one of those things that clicks in.
Yep.
None. That's the modern day computer, which you would think also, I mean, based on the fact that this computer, this particular laptop was purchased only because of its tremendous wherewithal as a broadcasting piece of equipment, and has been very successful for us in just about everything that we've tried, except that. So they don't even have an input that would accommodate this kind of ether cable. And so I had to buy a little adapter, and then it turns out that there's only one input for the adapter. So we're going to do a little experiment here and hope that comes off at 10 o'clock today. But it is hairy. How does that wire look? Now, you have a one-story house, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I have this wire going around out of this room that I'm in, up the hallway, up the stairs, and onto the second story in the house.
Yeah, so mine goes. I mean, it's not better in my house. Mine goes across my house. Like I have 35 feet of Ethernet cable. I literally put it away every day because it's utterly ridiculous.
That's what I'm going to have to do. Yeah.
Like to have it sitting here is utterly stupid. I have a dog. I have a cat. My wife doesn't pay attention anywhere she's going. She's usually on her phone. So knowing her, she'll trip and yell at me.
That's what I'm figuring is going to happen today, that the Mustang falls down the stairs.
100%. Yeah, I literally, the minute because again, we do the remotes. I take all the equipment, I just wrap it up and put it away.
Yeah.
So
All right.
it's so fun. It's a good time.
All right, I think it's going to work out. All right, we'll come back. We'll try and connect with Tony Segreto. It's brought to you by Texas Roadhouse Restaurants, which, of course, I don't know what they're. We'll have to get. Ed Garcia is going to join us, and I would imagine they're going to do a gargantuan business on Thanksgiving Day. No,
You would hope. I would think
that would be a great place to take the family
early. Like it would be the cool kind of place that I could see going instead of making a Thanksgiving. But again, they're really good to their employees, so maybe they're close. I don't know. I'm actually curious. We talked to them about a lot of stuff. I don't know. We didn't get too much into that last week. So
yeah, I think racetracks are Gulfstream Park. I don't think they're running on Thanksgiving. That used to be a staple of my degenerate diet. And I always liked it because they would have like an 11 a.m. first race post time, under the theory that this way, all the people that worked at the racetrack, which there are many people employed by racetracks, could find their way home in time to have dinner with the family. And then the Thanksgiving Day handicap was always the feature race. Say something, Tony.
1, 2, 3,
4, 5. Yeah, all right. All right.
I figured
We're going to come back with a live Tony Segreto in just a moment. Now that.
The time.
He did that countdown like a pro, didn't he? No one better in the business at the 3, 2, 1. You're on. It's 8:31.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously. Friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs, unmatched. Steaks, hand-cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
What we gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
We are now kicking it old school with the one and only Tony Segreto, brought to you by Catholic Health Services and Texas Roadhouse.
All right, welcome back to the show. Good to have you with us. It's a getaway day here on a short week, as they say, a short work week, and no better way to conclude it than going old school with our dear friend and just a truly lovely human being. If you could come back as anybody, you probably, at least from a moral standpoint and the standpoint of exuding class, you would want to come back as Tony Segreto. I don't know, Lubie, you would be closer to being able to do that than I would. But we love Tony Segreto, and happy Thanksgiving, Tony. Glad to have you on the show. How are you, my friend?
I want to say happy Thanksgiving to you and Lubie and everybody out there. It's a wonderful time to embrace the family and to be thankful for what we have. We've lost some of our loved ones this past year, and it's time to just reflect and be thankful for everything that we have.
Well, when you said that, I couldn't help. I don't know if Louis has the clip and can dig it up in time, but I always think of Steve from Humatilla calling the Gator hotline and saying, "Well, Coach, we lost some big-time Gators this year." Then he asked about Aaron Hernandez, and how he's going to... This was before we knew that Hernandez. Yeah. Well, we lost him too, but unfortunately, we lost other people because of him. It was one of my favorite phone calls ever to any kind of a sports talk show.
What's your favorite dish? Now,
I like them all. I'm a big turkey fan. I could eat turkey. If I was only given one thing, would it be turkey? I mean, after a while, it starts to stick here, doesn't it? You can't eat tons and tons of it, but I'm a big fan of a well-made turkey. My dad was just a tremendous turkey chef, but he made everything great. It was fantastic. I mean, the stuff we had, and what he really did that you rarely see anymore was, I don't know, did he call it the twice-baked potato, where you have mashed potatoes inside the skin?
Yeah.
He did that. I mean, it was one of those things that there are certain dishes that you'll have at family gatherings or people's places when you go over, and you can't wait for them to bring it out. Chef Oliver from the Cafe Max. I've been, at parties that he's brought his caviar pie over for, and everybody's like, "It doesn't matter what else is being served. Everybody just wants a slice of this thing. They can't wait for them to bring it out." And that was the deal. Like you wanted to make sure you got one of those. Twice baked potatoes that my dad used to make. So that was one of my favorites. But I love them all. I mean, what isn't good on the Thanksgiving table?
Did you hoard? Did you hoard those potatoes? Did you take one and eat it? And
I could eat 20 of them back then. I mean, I had a metabolism that was actually functioning, so it was good. But no, I there's nothing I really don't like, and I actually, believe it or not, became as part of the tradition a big fan of having a lasagna on the Thanksgiving table. Lasagna, which like, do you need it? No. But for some reason, it was always great. So later on today, I'm picking up a big tray for. I think we're having a gathering of about 10 people, and picking up a big tray of this crepe lasagna that's made by Tom Tanazzini, the great New Orleans chef.
Insane.
And we're picking that up, and I'm going to bring that as part of the fanfare round. Well, what about you, Tony?
You going to taste this tonight? You gonna taste this?
No, that would be really low class. I mean, even beneath me. Have a spoonful of this shit missing as you bring it out.
Lubie, what do you like?
See, my mom goes crazy. She makes it's a staple for Thanksgiving for a lot of people. Green bean casserole. Like I like all the things. She makes 2 different kinds of stuffing because my dad likes one and everyone likes the other. Mashed potatoes are from scratch. She's gotten really weird about the turkey, so it's like perfect. It's super moist because she's crazy about it. So everything's good, but I love the green bean casserole because I don't really have it all year long, and it's like a really good Thanksgiving thing. I'm curious about yours because your wife, you guys are Italian.
Yeah.
She cooks really well.
It's not matzo brie.
Yeah, no matzo brie. It's fucking very seriously. Do you guys do anything like where you infuse an Italian dish or something of that nature into Thanksgiving?
Do lasagna on the side.
Nice.
But,
you do? Okay, good.
She makes a stuffing, but unlike all the other stuffings, she makes
sausage and
it's
stuff.
A meat, meat sausage. It's meat. It's sausage. It's I could eat that all day long. That's all I could have. That's all I could have. That's all I could have.
Well, and you can have it for the next 2 weeks too. Usually, I mean, which is the real problem with Thanksgiving.
She'll make enough. Yeah, she'll make enough for a week, and the turkey's good. It's a feast. It's a feast, and I love it. I love it that we can share it all together.
Where are you going to be? Now, those curtains are not indicative of anything
Vermont.
that we've seen. Okay, Vermont, and the wife's going to be with you. And
yes, she is.
What about all of the Segreto children?
And one of them, my daughter is got a game that night.
She's going to be working. Oh, she's working the night game.
Which game she doing?
She got a game that night.
She does Sunday night football on the Thursday night.
Sunday night football.
Oh, so she's going to be at the 49ers Seattle festivities? Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
And then, is she in Seattle for this or out of a control center in New York?
She had a control center in New York. But then Friday there's a game. She has a game Friday and a game Sunday.
Wow. Doing that Dolphin Jet game?
Yeah.
I mean, most people would say, I guess, the shootout. Dolphins Jets. I mean, if we're going old school,
she does Amazon.
O'Brien and Marino. Dolphin Jet. The Richard Todd game with AJ Dewey with the 3 picks, of course. I'm trying to think of the ones that really stand out to me.
Back in the day, they were shootouts.
Yeah,
but now it's a pop gun.
Oh, with the Jets, we were just going over. I don't know if you were with us when we were going over the resume of this kid Tim Boyle that's going to be starting.
Oh my God.
Can you believe this? I mean, have you ever seen
more interceptions? He's thrown more completions to the other team.
Yes,
it's incredible.
It's a third string guy. Think about it.
It's amazing he's even third string.
Well, he's got to be.
No, it's amazing he would even be third string anywhere. I mean, I mean, he's the third guy that they're trying here, but. They gave him the nod. Who's the other backup that they
Trevor
have?
Simeon, the guy.
Oh, Simeon. Yeah, they signed Simeon, who was a starter for them. But I mean, what was your favorite all time? I mean, you must have covered what, like 100 Dolphin Jet games. So what are the ones that you remember, Tony?
The Dewey game that was in the mud
at the OB. Yes,
at the OB was my favorite game.
Really?
Yeah,
that was an interesting one. Yeah, because there was.
It was after the riot. It was after a riot. that year,
which wasn't uncommon then.
No,
Like most of those games were after a riot.
it was after a riot.
Yeah.
My father, I'll never forget this. My father was sitting in the stands that day, and he came over to me after the game and he said, for a riot-riddled game, you would never know it in the stands because everybody was pulling for the same thing. The guy next to me, the guy to the right, the lady to the right in front of me, the guy in the back of me, we were all pulling for the Dolphins. And for that 4-hour period, the arms were laid down. And then that makes me think of the ceasefire. That makes me think of the wars going on. For the 4 hours, for the 4 days, it gives you some respite.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, following that story, I'm not sure how trustworthy any negotiation would be with these particular people, Hamas. Seems like one of those deals where, you make a deal with somebody, but you know that you can't rely on the person to actually come through on their end. So you make all the concessions, and then they go ahead and fuck you anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Which I've had many times occur to me in various financial transactions.
That's
in my
true,
lifetime.
but I'm speaking in general, in the general sense, and that game was so good. It was in the mud. It was just
if you were a Dolphin fan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you would know this. I mean, did Shula ever admit that he deliberately soaked the field? He confided in you, Tony. Now, with me, he might have said, giving me a look and let me know that, I probably did it. But with you, he might have said it directly. Did he do it? Did he do it?
No, I'll go to my grave saying no.
Exactly.
That doesn't help us any, Tony.
That says a lot, actually.
The O'Brien Marino shootout was a great game. Unfortunately, this was on the road. Otherwise, it would really stand out. But I do remember the miracle at the Meadowlands.
Yeah, that was nice.
When the Dolphins had a tremendous lead. And who was the FSU receiver that made a catch for the Jets?
Coles. Fucking Lavernius Coles.
Yeah, I remember. I was about to turn the game off. It was something like 31-7 or whatever. I don't know. It was a gargantuan lead to try and overcome for the Jets. And then Coles caught a touchdown pass somewhere, I think, in the third quarter, and it might have even been the fourth quarter. It became like, all right, so 31-14, 17-point lead. There's still a shot here, and I kept watching, and in stunned amazement and disbelief, the Jets came back and won it. But of all of those Dolphin-Jet games, that's the one, the Richard
That's
Todd
the
game?
one, and the was it the Jets game when Marino faked the
fake spike?
Oh, the fake spike game. Yeah, that was a good one, too.
The fake spike's my favorite one. That was great.
That was
Bernie
so
Kosar sitting
brilliant.
in the play.
That was so brilliant.
That was so great.
It was the best.
Good
What do you
stuff.
mean? What do you mean? Didn't you call timeout?
That was great.
Yeah, I mean, he did it well. That was about as well executed. And that was at a time where that fade pass was particularly in vogue, which I thought was one of the worst plays, unless you had a Rondé Gadsden. It's the most unimaginative play that you could ever dial up in the red zone there from the 2-3 yard line.
There's a name from the past. Wow.
I see him all the time. He's down here. His kid was actually pretty good for Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yes. Very good player, Rondé Gadsden. We have a couple
He's
of
a
wide
nice
receivers.
guy too. What a nice guy.
Really sweetheart of a gentleman.
Yeah.
I always liked him. Hands are the biggest I've ever shaken.
Yeah.
And that includes
they're massive, and his fingers are fucked up. Like his hands are huge, and every finger's like
they dwarfed. You could take two of my hands, two of these, and fit them in his hand.
Yep.
Louie's familiar with this guy. A gentleman, I would say, and may he rest in peace. And in some ways, it was a fortuitous thing that he checked out for certain friends of mine. But this guy Vito, that was sort of in the collection business that we knew. Gadsden's hands were bigger than this guy's. Yeah.
In order to get the name Vito, you have to be in the prerequisite business.
Yeah, 100%.
But this guy was very effective. In fact, he would shake your hand and you would be trembling for the next 3 weeks.
Yes.
As he said, okay, I'm going to see you Wednesday in the graveyard. Vito, I'll be there.
Wednesday in the graveyard.
That guy scared the living shit out of me.
No, he was a scary individual. There's no doubt about that. But Gadsden, I remember that. That's one thing. He had the biggest mitts.
Biggest hands.
It was like he had a catcher's mitt on both hands. It was great.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you think? A couple of things we want to go over here, Tony, before we have Ed Garcia join us. Is Ed going to be with us on the show tonight?
Supposed to be joining us about now. I
Okay.
guess we'll see. It's probably busy.
Well, let's get before you have Ed, give his opinion on Michigan, Ohio State. And sometimes you look at just stuff on the surface and you think, how is it possible to believe that Michigan should be favored over Ohio State the way they've looked the last couple of weeks?
They're playing at
Understandable. Home. Okay. But does Ohio State not look light years ahead of Michigan at this stage of the season?
They look better.
Yeah. Light years. Light years.
A lot better. Their offense has actually come around where Michigan's has gone in the goddamn tank.
What is it? A 2.5 point favorite?
Was 4. Now it's down to 3 and a hook. It may be lower, but I'm looking at that and thinking I want to jump on that.
You got to give that to the home team. I think the pressure is all on Ryan Day, quite frankly, because A, they have to win, and B, Jim Harbaugh's not there.
Yep. Well, and they've lost 2 in a row. You're right. They've lost 2 in a row to Michigan, getting pounded, and now Harbaugh's not there.
And to lose again, and so I just think all the pressure's on him. But I like him.
Yeah, I would pick Ohio State still.
Yeah,
they're just playing better ball right now, are they not?
I don't think it's more.
They are. They're playing lights out. They're beating teams they should. The one game they escaped was Notre Dame, and that's when
that was a long time ago, though.
That was a long time ago.
I was in Atlantic City for that one, and I remember thinking Ohio State's not much, but since then, Tony, their last 4 games against reasonable opposition, nothing great, but they're like 132-30 in terms of point differential.
What time's that game? Noon?
Don't know. I'm gonna have to check that out there, Tony. You're forcing me to do a little research.
Yeah, it's their big noon. The big noon.
That's the big noon kickoff.
Ooh, nice way to go on a Saturday.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right. So what do you think? Are you going to be making
yes,
any kind of a wager on that game?
Yes, I'm going that game, and what else? I got 3 games here.
Oh, you do? You got picks already?
Wow, you got picks.
Look at you. You're going right to your phone. You already have the money in, Tony Segreto. Wow. I thought you were betting with this lenient bookie that,
you have the Hard Rock app, by the way, since we haven't talked to you about that. You know that? Do you know that it's up and running?
No.
Yes.
Oh, it is? Make legal wagers on the Hard Rock app.
Legal for the state of Florida. You are a Florida resident, so I don't know why you...
Do you have to be in Florida, though, to bet on that app?
I was going to ask you. Do you have to be a resident?
That I don't know.
Well, let me see. Let me see what I picked.
Tony would kill that app.
I got the.
Tony would live on that app.
You got that right. You're not kidding now. The Hard Rock app.
Mike Mayo's on it. Yeah,
yeah, it's working. People are making bets.
Yeah,
keep seeing people showing bets, and they keep posting losing bets.
Yes, that's
which makes make me think that there'll be a bass fiddle hotel pretty soon, right next to the Guitar Hotel. They're going to be just raking in.
I got Oregon State over
Oregon.
Oregon over Oregon State plus 14.
Plus 14.
Yep.
Wait a minute. No, Oregon's going to be a heavy favorite over Oregon
State.
Oregon
State do play. Oregon State's legit, and Oregon State's getting, I guess, 14.
14.
Okay.
So who do you have in that one? You're laying the points or taking them?
I'm laying them.
Laying
Oregon. So you think Oregon's going to win? Okay.
Yeah. And I got
oh Jesus
that game, and then there's one more LSU Texas A&M.
All right, what do you think there?
LSU
10 points.
10 point. You're laying points all over the board.
Wow, you're chalk.
Oh my God, that usually leads to a chalk outline.
I'm letting it roll. I'm letting it roll. I'm letting it roll.
All right, very good.
I got some inside information.
All righty.
All right, Tony Segreto with us here, and it's Old School with Tony Segreto. We do have Ed Garcia.
We do.
Let's bring him on. Bring him on.
There he is.
All right. Now, here we go.
Good morning. Good morning.
What's is the fight song? Give us a little Michigan fight song here, because we're just
Hail to the victors.
Yeah.
I should have had it ready today. I apologize. I just wrapped up a meeting and dropped the ball, but I was ready to rock and roll today. So big day. I know Tony thinks we haven't had a schedule yet this year, but
he's been ripping you all season. It's amazing you still sponsor the show.
I get it.
I have not. I have not.
12-0 and 1,000 wins. I'm sorry. Who else is there?
Of the 1,000 wins, let's see. They have 10 games that they won, and the other 9,990 they won too, but doesn't count.
Well, after the NCAA and Big Ten are done, we may get reverted back to zero and start the climb again.
What do you think of that, Ed?
I'm glad that it's kind of calmed down a little bit this week, but I am very excited a bit of a trap game this last week with Maryland. We struggled. Obviously, I feel like the challenges of, being that age, for me, it's been a long time. That you're surrounded by all this media, all this negativity, your coach is suspended, you're away from home. Those are some pretty serious challenges to, play the best of your ability to stay focused and win. So I'm glad they came out on top. I really look forward to this weekend. I'll actually be there. I'll send you pictures. Yes.
Oh, you're not gonna be with Harbaugh?
I want to be by the sidelines, but I don't want to be all over the news for giving up signs and this, that, because I did see our opponents play earlier this year. For some reason, they get broadcasted on television, but
that'll reflect on Texas Roadhouse more than anything.
Yes, I will wear some Roadhouse gear for sure. So, but I got the amazing blue suspenders and all that stuff. So yes, I look forward. I haven't been to a game. I haven't been to that game since 2006.
Wow.
Before 2006, I'd been to almost 10 in a row. And one in 2006 was one of the best ones. It was that 59-55, that last drive right at the end. It was the targeting.
Was that Chad Henne?
Yes.
Oh my!
No, Henny
was after. I think Henny was after.
Yeah. So, but anyway, it was a great time. But really, really looking forward to. This is a great weekend for football. On top of it's Thanksgiving.
It's rivalry weekend.
Thankful for you guys. So.
Yeah, we're thankful for you. To tell you the truth, we're really thankful for you. What do you have at Texas Roadhouse this Thursday? And
are you guys open? Well, what do you guys do with?
Yeah, what's happening?
I'll tell you, there's actually been a TikTok craze. It might be tough to do, but we are open today, and it's going to be very, very busy today. Today is like a Saturday because no one's allowed in the kitchen, at home. We are selling a lot of big things, from gallons of green beans, our bread, which is frozen. Now, that's going to be very challenging to get. So if you call your local Roadhouse, I'm just telling you right now, they may say no because they've already got 500 dozen already pre-ordered.
Oh,
wow.
Think about. Well, it doesn't help. A gentleman on TikTok, it's got like 3 million views.
I was wondering if you saw that. I was going to tag you, and I'm like, I don't know if he has freaking TikTok. Like, they blowing up. Roadhouse is all over freaking TikTok the last 2 weeks. Yes.
So the orders doubled. It's a challenging process on what we do. But the frozen bread obviously is great. You can pass it off as your own, Lubie. But we are closed on Thanksgiving. Friday, for those people that are Black Friday fans, I will tell you a secret, and I wish we could do this promotion all year round, but the number one promo for gift cards will be that Friday.
Okay.
We sell, I'm telling you, thousands of dollars of gift cards on that Friday because you get a kickback. So when you buy that gift, you get a gift for yourself, or you can give it more. It will vary by location, but the bounce backs are really, really big as far as and again, I'm going to just throw a number out there because every restaurant does their own, but for 100, you get 20 back and some other stuff. You can't go wrong with that. 20%, if you go into buy it online or anything else, you get nothing. So at least you're getting something out of it, which is really cool. So that's a really big day for us. It's a little bit of a softer weekend because there's so many leftovers. But great time to watch some football, pick up some to-go. And then for us, obviously, the season starts. So don't forget to use the mobile app, especially for tonight. It's going to be very, very busy.
Wow. That's just the tip of the iceberg, too, with what goes on at Texas Roadhouse all year long. What should people get when they go there the night before Thanksgiving?
Oh, yeah, tonight. Like when you have a big meal tomorrow, what is Ed Garcia eating at Texas Roadhouse today leading up to Thanksgiving?
One of my favorite go-to is I really enjoy the strip. They call that the man-eater steak right there. You can get it at a variety of temperatures because it's really great like the ribeye, but you can get that one cooked rare because it doesn't have all the marbling throughout. It's got the marbling right along the top. So You can get it rare or you can get it well done. I don't recommend well done. That's just not me. I'll even do it black and blue for those people that are, got that Pittsburgh style. I'll season it and put it on about a 700 degree like skillet. Do about 10 seconds on each side. So you kind of burn your mouth on that bite on the outside, but when you bite in, it's nice and nice cold. So unique piece, but I'll do that with some blue cheese crumbles. Pretty fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah,
So
that's my order.
favorite. That's my go-to. Give you a little bit extra for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Ask for some bread to go. You can warm it up. Have your leftover steak with some eggs and our bread. Very good.
Not bad.
The go-to move though, Ed, for me, and I can't believe I didn't do this because we've been talking about it for years, is to order a big ton of the sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes.
And then pass them off as if I made them.
Yeah.
Never mind Lubie and the bread. This would be a giant hit.
Our sweet potatoes, people will tell you can't replicate it at home. We have a pretty cool process that gets that skin nice and crispy and locks in that flavor. And it really is, our sweet potatoes you can eat on your own. It's a superfood. Doesn't need the brown sugar and the butter make it really, really, really good, but you don't need that with our sweet potatoes.
What is it, a pound? Is it a pound?
Yeah. Very good. Great memory.
These things are whoppers.
Yeah.
Yes, you should see. Occasionally, we'll get a couple of 2-pounders, but that's our spec. They really should be at average about 1 pound sweet potato.
Oh my God!
So,
but really, the way you guys do them is fantastic.
Yeah.
I remember I used to bring the tray to the station, and I would try to make sure that I took at least a half a dozen of them home. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
All right, prediction on a game, Ed Garcia.
I say Michigan by 5.
By 5.
By 5.
Wow.
Let's go around the table, Defo.
I can't comment on this.
Are you afraid I might cancel my membership?
No. I mean, I know you appreciate honesty. And, I'm just looking at it. I was not. You said it might have been a look-ahead game. I with the Penn State game when they ran the ball 30 straight times, they beat Penn State, but James Franklin is awful in these spots. And it wasn't unimpressive, but it wasn't overwhelmingly impressive. I thought, and then to come out of that game and sort of, be in a very dicey situation against a Maryland team that isn't great. I'm just looking at that, and I'm going by comparative levels of play. Ohio State seems to be playing its best ball right now. Michigan doesn't seem to be. So I would be inclined, let me put it this way, a narrow victory for Michigan in light of your sponsorship and loyalty to the program, but maybe failing to cover the point spread. And all you care about, just win, baby. You're Al Davis on this one. Just win.
Well, Tony said the thing that actually is what I think will put it over for Ohio State.
Yeah.
Sharon Moore's not losing his job if he wins or loses this game. Ryan Day could. Ryan Day's actually
100%.
lost this game 2 in a row. It's funny. Their fans are either way defending the program, but they all hate Ryan Day because he can't beat Michigan. Like, it comes down to that. Harbaugh was hearing it for like 5 years because he couldn't beat Ohio State. He's not only beaten Ohio State the last 2 years, he's annihilated them. Well, he's not there, so he sort of gets a pass. Ryan Day has to win this game. Like, Ryan Day doesn't win this game without Harbaugh on the sideline.
That's it.
I don't know if they fire him,
back.
but he will be on it'll be Ed Orgeron type kind of hot seat. Honestly, if he doesn't win this. Look, with Harbaugh there, it's a different story. But without Harbaugh there, the way that Moore is just trying to be very conservative, keep it close to the vest, and Ohio State's throwing it around, I think it's a close game. I think it's a tight game, but I could see Ohio State winning just because Ryan Day has to win this game.
The pressure's all on him.
He's in a lot of trouble.
Yep.
The pressure's all
They're ganging up
on
against you,
Ryan
Ed.
Day.
I know. I love Ed, and I think Michigan's had an amazing year, especially with all they've gone through. Your coach suspended twice. Like,
they may pull this out. They may surprise us all and just wax them.
Yeah. All right. I mean, that should be very favorable that Lubie and I both think Ohio State is in this game. Ed.
Hey,
if anything was going to enhance your chances of a victory, that would be it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great game. I mean, this is what football's all about. We're going to have two people head-to-head fighting. I mean, there's going to be everything left on the battlefield on Saturday, that's for sure.
What kind of percentage of representation will Ohio State fans have in the big house? Do they get a lot of people in there, or are they just thrown out?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say there'd be about 10-15%.
Okay.
But even so, when you have 100,000 people, 10% is
that's
a
big
pretty
numbers.
weak voice, no doubt.
Very
Ed,
loud.
we love you, man. Best of luck.
Thank you.
That should be a
Pictures
great
sent-
time Saturday.
Safe
Happy Thanksgiving, guys.
Thank you so
Ed,
much.
Ed.
Thank you for everything.
You'll send us some pictures.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
send pictures, please. I want.
Yeah, that would be great. Text us some pictures. That'd be awesome.
Ed
Ed Garcia, ladies and gentlemen, Texas Roadhouse Restaurant. It's
Ed.
closed Thursday. Get all your sides today.
Yeah.
And claim that you made them, and you'll be a big hit at your Thanksgiving table.
I didn't even think that's.
All right, we got to run, Tony. Excellent stuff. You have a great one, my friend.
I'm thankful for
Is
you.
it snowing there? I heard there was some
it
snow in
snowed
like
last
Maine
night
or
with
something.
About 5 inches of snow.
Oh yeah.
Orange.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's nice though. I mean, that
It
gives
is.
you a
It's
real
real nice.
different feeling on
It's
Thanksgiving.
real nice.
We're unlikely to get snow here. I think it's going to be 85. So
It's a 70.
sunny all day. We love you, Tony. Thanks,
Love you.
man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Best of everything to you, my friend.
Thank
you. All right, Tony Segreto, ladies and gentlemen. And we kind of ganged up on Ed there with the Ohio State picks.
No, I mean, Ryan Day has to win this game. That's not even a joke. Like once Harbaugh is suspended, it's going to look really bad if he doesn't win this game.
Past performances, it's difficult to rate, and sure, there's going to be a big home field advantage there in terms of fan support. I've been underwhelmed with Michigan. The big question all year was, did they play anybody of any significance? Those last two games, I don't know. I mean, did they really look like they're ready to beat an Ohio State team that seems to have found its best stride? I know stranger things have happened, but I mean, if you're just asking on the surface, who looks better right now, you would have to say Ohio State, and possibly with the ability to go on the road. So with that, people, bet Michigan with conviction. Lay 3.5, lay 4, lay 4.5. Go ahead and jack it up to 10 and get yourself a big price. It should be a very interesting weekend all the way around. A load of important football games, Lubie.
Yep, this
Both
weekend
is and the pros. That's amazing. Going to be a lot of fun. So you don't have to just suffer through that dull Lions game anymore on Thanksgiving Day, because even they now are somewhat enjoyable to watch. All right, we have to run. You guys have a great holiday. We'll be back with you with this show on Monday. We're going to attempt to do the Tony Bruno show today on Tony Bruno Sports Network. I'm optimistic. I felt like we had a good time here. I'm looking at this wire. I'm thinking, I'm hoping, Miss Robin, that is the solution. Miss Robin, of course, of Tony Bruno fame. And I had a conversation with Miss Robin as we were discussing the various, problems that we've been having. And I'm really optimistic that thing's going to be, really, really good. I mean, even if eventually they have to change systems or whatever, that there are big things on the horizon there, because not much on the radio anymore, huh, Lubie, in terms of sports talk?
Nope.
So fucking boring, most of it, isn't it?
Yep.
I mean, the network shows are unlistenable, and there are very few local shows. So if you don't happen to like the one that's on the air, there's no more punching up another channel to see what else is happening.
No, there's just nothing.
Nothing. You get the guys that are out there, and what? We have just WQAM now in town. And, look, no disrespect to anybody there, but it's not always scintillating. Would you agree?
No, it's horrendous. I mean, I don't feel bad being honest. They're not trying, so I don't have to pull punches. I mean, they're just putting whatever on the air. There's no competition. There's
nothing. Yeah.
Originality, creativity. It's just put something on or go syndicate it.
And this thing inspired me yesterday. One of the best things about the Mayo Show is the fascinating people that you meet that are in a restaurant business.
Yep.
And their attitude and approach to things, and it's highly competitive. And let's face it, it's a very fragile turf that you're operating on, because in addition to the competition, the crowd can be fickle. Pricing and all kinds of different difficulties that you're contending with. And this Quee had a tremendous attitude, which was, and Kaizen means strive to improve.
Yep.
No matter how good you are, which is what we're trying to do all the time. And I think we're going to accomplish that over the next year or so with the Tony Bruno Sports Network. So let's hope we can resurrect our radio roots here, Lubie, and pull one off today. So we'll see you there at 10 o'clock, Tony Bruno Sports Network. We have our no filter thing working also, and Caffeine TV. And we want to thank everybody. Wow. I mean, you don't know what it means to us. I mean, I don't want to get Segreto-esque here and get all sentimental and start crying. Yeah. But it means a lot to us. You guys that support us on the chat line and are watching our shows and catching us on 5 Reasons as well. It means a lot to both Lubie and me. So thank you, everybody, for staying with us over the last couple of years here on South Florida Live and all the things that we've been trying to enterprise to do. And let's hope 2024 is our year, Lubie, as we head into the holidays. Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody. Yeah, for Mike Lubie Lubitz, I'm Jeff DeForest, and we'll see you next time as we leave you know that.
The time.
It's 9:04.
Let's go to eat a damn snack. Look what they done to my show.